Well, this is Manesh Patel from the II Capital Group. Today is December 12th, 2010. This is our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the global markets, where we cover everything from the US out to Asia to Europe and so forth. Okay, we got a lot to cover, so let's begin. This is our normal disclaimer, basically stating this is for educational use only. All charts are either in Thinkorswim, TradeStation, or freestockcharts.com. Okay, here are our contact details. You could also follow us on Twitter at Ichimoku Trading. Okay, so let's go straight to the freestockcharts.com and let's go look at the markets. Let's go and first look at Europe market, and let's start off with the Frankfurt market because it's always been the stronger of everything. If you look at the Frankfurt market, basically here, you could see that it's trending up nicely. It's got a nice trend up. It looks very, very, very strong right now as far as these markets are concerned. Next level to watch out for, it is at a certain level right now. So I would be very careful probably when it gets to 7079. So it's getting very close to a major resistance value, but it looks very, very strong going to the top side. Okay, that's the Frankfurt market. Let's go to London. If you go to London, London still hasn't pushed up that much. Okay, so you could start a hedge where you basically go long the German market and short the FTSE as far as the London is concerned. You could see that you're just still retesting its pivot high here, the last high here, and you're just kind of sitting there at all. So it really hasn't broken out on a trend at all yet. Okay, doesn't mean it's not going to, but still hasn't done that yet. Let's go to Paris. If you look at Paris, it's weaker of all three of those markets because look at this. It hasn't even gone to retest the high at all. Okay, so this is just consolidating back and forth. But if all the markets pretty much break out, this one will start moving too. But it doesn't look like it's moving that as far as percentages is concerned. So as far as Europe is concerned, Frankfurt is definitely leading that market moving forward. Okay, let's go out to Asia. Let's go look at the Shanghai first. If we look at the Shanghai on the weekly time frame, basically we're consolidating. We're between the Tinkinson Cajunson and we're almost in the cloud. So there's nothing really going as far as Shanghai is concerned out in Europe. Okay, out in Asia. If you look at the Nikkei, Nikkei, remember we said that it's going to start a movement up. It has. Still not bullish at all because it's not above the cloud. Also, future is still bearish too. But this is consolidating the long term. But it is starting to make a move to the top side. Okay, but there's no trend there at all yet. Okay, so that's there. Let's go to the Hong Kong market. If you look at the Hong Kong, we've pulled back now. We're in the medium pullback because we're below the Tinkinson and above the Cajunson. So the key levels here is the Cajunson value, which is basically the baseline at 22,383 to see what happens there, or if it breaks above the 23,885. So we're basically in a 500-point range right now as far as the Hong Kong market's concerned. If you look at the Indian market, basically we're right at the Cajunson. We're in between the Cajunson and Tinkinson, so sooner or later it's going to have to break these lines. So if you look at the top side of the market, the range is around 20,017, and the bottom side is basically 1972. So one way or another, it's got to break out of that low range. Our guess is that it's due for a major pullback, so hopefully we're going to get a pullback coming down to the 18,000, but we may not. If it's strong, it's going to keep on going up, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to cover the Sydney market. If we look at the Sydney market, this is very similar to the Paris market, where we've been consolidating. Now you're basically out of the cloud. This actually does look ideal to go retest the highs up here, at least get to 49.80 if the momentum now starts pushing this up. It's got to break this minor level here of 48.71. Once it does that, then it can go up to here and hopefully break through that. If it doesn't break through that, a lot of people are going to look at this as a head and shoulder pattern and look at shorting opportunities for the Australian market. That's the Sydney market out there. Okay, and lastly, we're just going to come back and cover the Brazilian market. Because we're going to cover the U.S. market in just a minute. If you look at the Brazilian market, just like every market out there, between the Tinkinson and Cajunson, retest a high over here, formed a double top, really hasn't done anything there. Actually formed a triple top, really hasn't done anything, so it looks weak there too. Okay, so all the markets except German right now, is globally outside the U.S. are trending. Okay, sorry, the only market that's trending right now is the German market. Everything else is either at the top, doing a double top though, or triple top, or just sitting there at those levels. So now let's cover the ES. Let's cover the markets here in the US. Let's go look at the NASDAQ, because remember, we've been always long NASDAQ and shorting the S&P. If you look at the NASDAQ as far as the weekly time frame is concerned, we are basically right here. Let me get some more data for this, see how far we can take this thing back. And if you look, we are basically getting close to our high here. So if you look at closing prices, we pretty much have got to this level here, and we're sitting right at it, which is at 2040. Okay, so there's two levels here. One's here and one is here, but dating back to our all-time high for the NASDAQ. Okay, so we're pretty much at very close to our all-time high of NASDAQ, the values that we had gotten when we were back in October 29, 2007. So that's interesting to see that we're retesting those highs right now. We still look very strong as far as the bullish trend is concerned on a weekly time frame. Okay, let's go look at the daily real fast. Daily still looking strong too. It's slowly going up, but it is going up. Okay, let's go look at the Dow. The Dow was next in line as far as strong is concerned. If you look at the Dow, we're not retesting the high, of course, from back in 2007, but we are sitting there still strong as far as bullish is concerned. Chicago's still strong. We're sitting here right at the top, kind of doing a double top here. We got to wait for this to kind of break out. Okay, so if you look at the mini S&P futures, that even paints an interesting picture now, because that is now stronger than the Dow. Okay, and if you look at it, it's actually broken out of its little miniature double top, and basically last week we broke out of their higher. So, you know, if you're still doing pairs trading, I definitely would stay long at the NASDAQ, but maybe rotate out now and start shorting the Dow instead of the S&P. Okay, and then lastly, let's cover the Russell market. Some people do love Russell market, and if you look at the Russell market, it is breaking to the top side, and it looks stronger than the S&P. Not as strong as the NASDAQ, but still looks stronger than the S&P. Okay, so in order to, from strength to weakness, you definitely got NASDAQ, then you got Russell, then you got S&P mini futures, and then now you got the Dow. So that's the order of strengths right there. But definitely NASDAQ and Russell are trending to the top side. Okay, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. You can email us, and we'll go from there. Thank you.